Welcome to this week's Behind the Poem. We are back, episode 81. We've been doing this thing for 2.5 years, over that. And I took a little hiatus, as you may have seen in this week's Touch Base Tuesdays. And speaking of Touch Base Tuesdays, I talked about kind of metaphorically and literally gut renovating my life the last few months. And so today I'm going to do a poem that I wrote in 2014 that is about the way my body has physically released, healed in relation to the deep inner guttural work going on. And so I'm definitely feeling that now in 2023, the different physical manifestations of whatever inner work I have done. And I kind of feel, I described it to someone yesterday as like, you know, when there's like, maybe you don't know, but when people do a big move or renovation, there's like bags of trash on the curb or maybe big, huge dumpsters that need to be picked up and collected. So I feel like that's what's happening right now physically. Is it's just like, I'm waiting for sanitation to pick up my shit, metaphorically. This is called, I wrote this poem at my 65th Phish show during Divided Sky, a song I normally can't stand, but suddenly enjoyed that night. For those of you that aren't Phish fans, Divided Sky is like a beloved song, so this was like controversial that I didn't really like it until many years into my fandom. Okay. There is a scab of grief nestled in the back of my throat. This isn't a metaphor. It's rising from my lungs like a chimney. Soot clogged up in the crevices of my tonsils. This isn't retaliation, whereby my body says it's too terrified to move forward. It wants to. It grasps for every metaphor in sight to help further emphasize and elicit the choice that is my progress. My heart knows it is only whole within. It fantasizes about a future and doesn't panic that it will always be alone. This isn't a metaphor. This is 3 weeks of a sore throat transiting around the cavernous cave that is the back of my throat. Some urchin playing ping pong with the flesh that transitions my lungs into my esophagus or larynx, whichever comes first. This is about the grief rising from my larynx, making a pass at my tonsils, soot accumulating on the crevices of flesh that is the caverns of my tonsils and throat, my voice, everything left unsaid. Those things, the unsaid things, they are sitting, rotting flesh, rotting carcasses on my throat, in my tonsils, not a metaphor, literal piles of anguish, all the times I chose to silence my tonsils or thoughts, whichever comes first. The way I think about the past, and up comes the grief. And it's sitting in my throat. A rotting corpse, a carcass, stinking up the entire house. And each morning, I cough it up from my lungs and wish it farewell, soot catapulting out from the chimney that is my voice, the ashes rising, my body, my house, a consoled mound of flesh molting, layers of skin from the inside out, a snake in reverse. Out comes the lining of the past. Inside, a new plasma grows, my voice. A budding flower, a sort of fertilizer, telling myself to grow. Shout out to the ancient and indigenous traditions and medicinal and healing wisdoms that have long known the holistic ways our bodies are interconnected with our spirit and mind and emotions and heart. So shout out to healing. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have a good rest of your week and weekend ahead. Take care.